All right, so we'll stay standing. We're gonna start with some, one of my favorites, we're gonna start with some neck rolls. So we're gonna stand up, we're gonna let our arms hang. I'm gonna drop my head as close to my chest as I can, getting my chin nice and tucked. And slowly, I'm gonna drop it all the way to the left. Really feeling the traps, and then I'll go all the way back, head up, all the way to the right. Slow and controlled, getting those first few cracks out of the way. We'll go one more time, all the way left. Taking your time so you feel comfortable with it. And then we're gonna switch directions. So chin still stays at that chest, and now I'm gonna travel to my right side first. Dropping my head back. Left ear to left shoulder. And one more time through. Right ear to right shoulder, back of my head to my upper back, left ear to left shoulder. Good, that should feel really good, right? Obviously limiting yourself if you have anything that's uncomfortable. So now we're gonna go into shoulder rolls. Can't beat a good shoulder roll. I'll show you this way. So I'm going to keep my fists nice and strong, like I was gonna punch someone, but I won't. I'm gonna bring my shoulders up as high as I can to my ears. Pull them back, pressing my chest forward, drive them back down. Round my back to finish it off, pull them back up to start, right? So we're gonna go 5 both directions. So right now I'm opening back, right? I'm opening my chest, rolling my shoulder blades, getting that blood flow, getting some cracks out of there. I'm definitely cracking, not sure about you. And then we're gonna switch directions. So now, instead of pulling up first, I'm gonna pull forward, up, back, down. Forward, up, back, down. I definitely get less cracks with this one than I do with the other one. Good. Feeling that blood start to heat up, feels great. Okay, no monies. Really great warm-up movement, but also a great postural activity. So this one you should definitely keep in your back pocket if you feel like you're ending like this halfway through your day, right? So we're gonna keep our elbows dug into our side, palms are up at the ceiling. The most important cue I just said was elbows into the side. We can't let them move. Now I'm gonna pull my thumbs out, right? So I got no money. That's why it's called that. I got no money. But I'm gonna do it nice and slow, pulling my shoulder blades together. Notice how my chest is coming open at the end and my elbows are staying nice and tight. I'm feeling this through my mid and upper back, and I'm feeling that external kind of force on my shoulders. I get to a point where I can't go any further without my elbows coming off my sides. We're gonna aim to get 20 of them. By the end of the 20, you should really feel your shoulder blades working. Feel like you're getting some good heat. Perfect. Should feel good, not bad, right? Just mobilizing the upper back, waking up some smaller postural muscles that might not be working for you on a daily basis. Good old tricep stretch. I'm gonna take my right hand up over my back, give myself a good old pat on the back, hug that elbow, pull it in, and the important part is here, right? I'm already getting a great stretch, but I'm just gonna take a couple deep breaths. So I'm gonna inhale my nose, exhale my mouth. Breathing, right? Shake it out. It's always good to give the body time to respond to the stretch you're asking of it. So now we're gonna go left hand up and over, pat myself on the back, give my right arm a nice little pull, give my right hand a pull on that left elbow. We're gonna take 2 big deep breaths again. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Right? Just giving that body time to absorb the stretch and not rushing through it. All right, let's get that low back. So we're gonna stand wide. I'll show you both frontal and a lateral view. I'm gonna stand wide. I'm do my best to keep my knees pretty straight. I'm going to cradle elbow and elbow with each hand, and then I'm gonna slowly fall down between. Slowly fall down between, and enjoy that stretch. I'm gonna rock lateral. Intensify the stretch a little bit on each side of my lower back. Now, if it's too much strain, on either the low back or the hamstrings, just unlock the knees a little bit, right? And you'll still get a great stretch. I'm gonna come up and just show you a different view. So I'm stepping outside of my hips, cradling my elbows, and then dropping through the hole, getting that good stretch in my lumbar, hamstrings, creating some blood flow in areas that we might not always get it. Breathing. If you like, place the hands on the ground. Feel a little bit of relief right there. You don't have so much weight. Come back when you're ready, and then we're gonna roll up slowly. I'm gonna roll that back up slowly, really mobilizing that low back, extending at the top, shaking it out. Now we're gonna keep the same leg stance, so we're gonna go nice and wide again, like we're gonna perform the same movement, but instead I'm gonna keep my back straight. I'm gonna drop my hips through the hole. Hands in front of me to help support when I get down. So toes are out, and I'm gonna drop as low as I can. I'm pushing my knees into the inside of, I'm pushing my elbows into the inside of my legs now to kind of help me stay there, right? I'm rocking back and forth to intensify the stretch on my hips, my knees, my ankles. With my hands on the floor like this, I'm also getting a little bit of a wrist stretch, right? Now, if it's too intense, put your hips where you're comfortable and then just do the same movement there, rocking around, right? Obviously easier if you can sit down and do it. You don't have to hold your load up, but not everyone has the hip mobility to sit like this, and that's okay. Breathing. We're gonna stay here for at least, well, I've probably already talked for 30, at least 30 to 40 seconds. Once again, just giving the body time to respond to what you're asking of it. Awesome. When you're ready, you're gonna leave your hands on the ground, push your hips up out of the hole, and slowly come back up, right? Okay, so now we're gonna go into a little bit of a hip. If you need balance, go ahead and hold on to something. But if you wanna work on your balance, go ahead and give it a try. So I'm gonna grab my right ankle with my left hand and then push my knee down. Same idea in my opposite. I'm gonna pull the leg up and then push the knee down. So what I'm doing is I'm stretching out my piriformis muscle, which is the muscle in our glutes that causes a lot of sciatic issues. I'm also mobilizing my hip, my knee, right? Getting blood flow to those muscles that we don't necessarily use working all day long. Just feels good. A lot of times people will feel it all through the back area of their glutes, down into their hamstrings as well. And then you're also waking up some parasympathetic nerves by being on one leg. Okay, so let's go into a hamstring. So I'm gonna show you this in laterally. Number one, important, kickstand the working leg, right? So my toe is off the ground and my leg's nice and straight. I'm gonna bend my right leg, hands ahead of me, and I'm gonna sweep back. Notice how my back is staying straight. I'm not going like this. I'm pushing my hips back. Like there was someone behind me I wanted to hit with my tush, right? When I do that and I keep that left leg straight, I'm really getting that intense hamstring mobility on the left leg. We're gonna go for 10 each side. This is a very athletic movement. You see this a lot watching football games, it's soccer games. That's how they warm up their hamstrings, but it's also great for us. So I'm gonna show you front, right? Kickstand my right leg, soft left knee, hands ahead of me, and I'm kind of swinging. Notice I'm not controlling my arms. I'm letting them pass by me with their own weight. I'll show you this way again. Feeling that good stretch down the back of the hamstring, doing our best to keep our back straight, reducing the movement if it's too intense, right? We're gonna go and activate our quads a little bit. So we're gonna go very wide, super wide, and I guarantee what you think is wide usually is not wide enough. So I'm wide. I'm going to sit into my left knee and leave my right leg straight, called a hockey squat. So obviously depth is gonna be different here for everyone. I'm gonna drive my hips back into my left, keeping that right leg straight. Now imagine there's a ceiling over your head, but you wanna shift over to this leg. I'm not gonna come up, I'm gonna shift my body weight over, straightening that left leg. We're gonna go back through it again. Shifting our weight, keeping our knees bent and our hips pushed back behind us, keeping our chest up. You should be getting a really good stretch in your groin, right? The inside of our legs. We're getting some quad activation, making those legs work in a lateral plane versus frontal, right? Frontal is getting in and out of our cars, climbing stairs, this nice lateral plane. Just activating some different muscles, loosening up our hips. I'm aiming for us to get around 20 of them. As usual, I'm not counting, and I'm talking a lot, so There we go. It's hopefully around 20. We're gonna do a little spinal rotation. So we're gonna stand back up tall. Now we're gonna hug ourselves the best we can. So I'm gonna take my left arm under my right rib and then right arm over my left shoulder. So I'm just nice and compact as much as I can. I'm gonna soften my knees and then I'm gonna rotate as much as I can, right? Trying to get my shoulders to separate from my hips. So my hips are still facing you and I'm rotating as much as I can through my torso and above to really help create blood flow in my lower back, right? And you can switch your hands. So a nice big hug, different arrangement of the hands, right? And you just get a slightly different stretch. The idea of the hug is to mobilize your upper back, right? I'm kind of pulling my shoulder blades forward, putting them in a different range of motion, and then creating forceful rotation. Not in a bad way, just intense, right? Once again, as always, go at your own pace, but that should feel really good and once again, make you feel like your blood is moving finally. Okay, so we're gonna do a long lunge. I'll show you lateral and frontal. So we're gonna do a step back long lunge to stretch out our hip, our obliques, and our shoulders. So I'm gonna make a fist at the sky. I'm gonna step back, I'm gonna drop that knee and reach at that sky. I'm gonna show you a few like this and then I'll face you. What I'm making sure that I'm doing is I'm reaching for the ceiling, like I really wanna punch it, right? That's helping keeping my head through the hole, right? And then number two, I'm squeezing the butt cheek of the leg that's going back to help this stretch intensify. I'll show you a forward view. Really great elongation stretch, really stretching out the front of my body, activating my legs a little bit, mobilizing my shoulders. We're gonna aim for at least 5 to 10 each leg. Now, when it comes to regressions, right, don't think you have to drop all the way down. If you're uncomfortable, just slight bend, right? Still getting that great stretch up through here. Just a little bit less activation in the front leg, which is fine. That'll only get your heart rate going. Okay, heel to toe. I really like this movement. So keeping your knees straight, you're going to pull your toes off the ground. You might want to find something to balance on just to try it out. You're going to pull your toes off the ground. Let me show you laterally. And then I'm going to come up as high as I can on my toes, right? No knee bend is crucial here. As high as I can, shin rock back. So I'm feeling my calves activate in obviously the calf raise, this one, this good old school movement. But then when I come here, I'm feeling my shins activate, the front of my lower leg. The ankle is not given enough respect in exercise. The ankle is the bottom of our chain, right? So if the ankle is screwed up or tight or weak, it's going to affect the rest of the chain. This is a really great exercise to create blood flow and get the lower leg muscles working. We have almost all of our clients do this movement. They think it's silly, but you'll realize how beneficial it is. You can transition it to a single as well, but much more difficult. You should have felt that in the lower leg. Okay, my favorite last one, wall pat down stretch. So find a wall, a door, a fireplace. What we're gonna do is I'll try to show you two views of it. I'm going to face my fireplace. I'm gonna stand far enough away so that when I put my arms on top of it, my arms are straight. So if you're on the wall, same deal. Stand far enough away so that your arms are being pushed to be straight. I'm gonna bend my knees, push my head through the hole. The most important thing here is that your elbows stay straight so that the stretch is being utilized in the lats and the shoulders, right? Inhale, relax for a second, exhale as we go down. I'm gonna try to show you a lateral view of this. Let's see. I'll have an imaginary wall. Hands on my wall, soft knees, head through the hole. I'm using that wall as my push point, right? Really pushing my hips back. I do recommend breathing through that one. That's a really great shoulder mobility. If you're feeling tightness in your shoulders, easy one. You can even use your desk forward or the back of your chair, right? Just driving your hips behind you, keeping those elbows straight, really mobilizing that whole thoracic part of our back as well. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining me.